Alexander Isak is refusing to represent Newcastle. Yes, refusing. What? Refusing? Sorry, mate, this isn't like being asked to sit beside a baby on a plane. This isn't like a stranger offering you a cookie they found on the bus. This is the honor of representing one of the most iconic football clubs in the world, and you're saying, no thanks. What? Hello, I am the Irish guy, and oh lads, reports are saying that this Swedish striker will never play for the club again, even if he doesn't get sold. Refusing to play for Newcastle. I'm sorry, dump him in the reserves now. Look, go on then. I mean, I know it's a financially stupid decision, but how dare anybody refuse to put on the Newcastle shirt? It is an honor to be asked to wear this. It isn't like some ugly school uniform that you begrudgingly wear for 6 years, despite the fact that it definitely makes you look like one of those creeps who pays for a female celebrity's bathwater off the internet. Yes, Alfie, I'm looking at you. I mean, never mind. This is an absolute honor to wear these iconic black and white stripes, and yet Isak is treating this as if he's just been asked to bring your weird cousin on a trip to the zoo. He's acting like a surly teenager who's been asked to give up his weekend to go and clean his nan's toilet. No, sorry. Newcastle United in the Champions League. This guy was on the pitch to experience that epic win over PSG. One of the greatest nights in the club's history. And he's saying he doesn't want to experience that again? Oh, please make the Champions League draw now and show me his face when the club gets drawn to face Real Madrid at home. Tell me he doesn't want to be part of that. 4-1 against PSG. Even Matt Target was spot on the pitch, which was the mother of all anyhow flexes. Seriously, the only way he could try to humiliate Luis Enrique even more is if he just swapped Jason Tyndall for his dog in the dugout for the last 20 minutes. I can't believe Isak is doing this. I can't. This feels like I'm being slapped in the face with a fish. It gets even worse because the bloke has moved out. He has literally left his house. He hasn't even stuck around for the breakup. He's just gone. The day after the Newcastle United team bonding barbecue, his house was put on the rental market. So where is he living now? Is he so desperate to join Liverpool that he's now camping outside Anfield in a tent? So this guy is inching ever closer to becoming the Swedish Odom Wingy. He's probably already bought himself Liverpool pajamas online. A few months ago, I did not believe that Isak would want to leave Newcastle this summer, but now, he wants to leave Newcastle so much that he sacrificed his house. So where's he going to have dinner tonight? I mean, he's got no kitchen to cook in now, so what? Is he going to sneak through the windows of Burger King to cook himself some chicken nuggets? He hates Newcastle so much that he's now made himself homeless. Why? People want to say that this is Newcastle's fault and that the club should apologize to Isak. What? Do people really think that Isak was bothered to miss the team bonding barbecue last week? Why should he be invited to the barbecue when he's acting like a brat? Can you imagine how awkward it would have been for him to be queuing up for a sausage, having to make awkward small talk with Jacob Murphy's wife, whilst every Newcastle player gives him the evil eye? Honestly, I would imagine for Isak, it was like living in one of those Smile movies, except everyone's frowning at you instead, as if they'd just seen you do a poo in the ice cream. Seriously, get real. Isak is not now refusing to play for the club because he was denied a sausage sandwich in the sun. He's not refusing to play because he's so offended at having his barbecue invite fed to a pigeon in the park. No, Isak is a professional football player on paper, right? And I say on paper because he's not. Not this summer. No, I'm sorry. But that identity has been stripped from him because there is nothing professional about this. I mean, what about this thigh injury that's kept him sidelined all summer and threatening to never again put on the famous black and white stripes? A football shirt that is an absolute honor to wear. There are actual Geordies out there who would seriously drink rotten milk up their nose to even get 5 minutes on the pitch. There are grown men out there who would absolutely feed their children to a crocodile if it meant they got to score a penalty in front of the Gallows Gate. And yet Isak has been paid £150,000 a week to do just that. Fine, then test him. If he's refusing to play, then okay then, test out this theory. I know there's £150 million at stake, but refuse to let him leave. See if he's really all about this bullish attitude on September the 1st, when this Liverpool move is now about as real as a pregnant tooth fairy. I mean, would he really choose to sit the season out in the stands, or at least wait until January without playing a single game of football? Eddie Howe said recently that it's a short career. Yeah, oh yeah, it's even shorter when you're spending 6 months knitting jumpers on the couch. Seriously, is he just gonna skip training for months? Because if you do that, mate, you're probably gonna get fat. And you must do, because there's absolutely no way that an on-strike Isak could be allowed anywhere near the first team. Oh no, because when the team is then struggling by Halloween, likes of Dan Burn would absolutely smash him up against a vending machine to such a point that Isak could be picking M&Ms out of his ears for weeks. These threats are really emptier than Tommy Fury's head. There's absolutely zero chance that this transfer window slams shut and Isak refuses to play football until January in a World Cup here. Are you mad? So go on then, let's let Isak rot in the reserves. See if he regrets his decision when it's late November and he's still training with the under 21s. Nutmegging the likes of Logan Watts, Dylan Charlton and Cathal Heffernan for fun. See if he finds it fun being in the company of players whose main topic of conversation every morning is which one of them is still a frigid. This reminds me when Chelsea claimed that William Gallas was so desperate to leave for Arsenal that he threatened to score an own goal if he was picked.
He went on to threaten that if he was forced to play or if he was disciplined and financially punished for his breach of the rules, that he could score an own goal or get himself sent off or make deliberate mistakes.
I can't even wrap my head around the ugliness of that situation. It's like your mom telling you that if you don't do your homework, then she'll chuck hot soup in your face. Sorry, I need a minute to digest what you said there, Mum. Are Liverpool happy with this? I mean, are you really prepared to pay more than £1/10 billion for somebody who is clearly just the Swedish Grinch? Lads, this guy could have been the Swedish Shearer. Seriously, if he chose to sign another fat, long-term Newcastle contract, he could literally produce a body of work that is better than that of the guy who has a statue outside the ground. Because let's be real, Shearer had 10 seasons at the club, but injuries slowed that down. Guys, well, his second season at the club was a 2-goal season. 2 limp goals in 17 Premier League matches. And his 5th season was a 5-goal season. His second last was 7. That is 3 times Shearer failed to hit double digits in the Premier League for Newcastle. And yes, it was because of his gruesome injuries. Well, Isak has already scored in the final, lifted silverware for Newcastle, 2 things Shearer never did. So honestly, he was on the right track to possibly outdoing Shearer and becoming Newcastle's greatest striker of all time. If Isak had just spent 10 years at the club, he'd have won more, probably scored more, and the only thing elevating Shearer above him in legend status is the fact that he's a local lad. I mean, that was in store for Isak, being treated like an absolute prince. He'd have been the king of the north, which probably means he'd have to get jiggy with his cousin. What, it's off Game of Thrones. He would have never had to pay for a Greg sausage roll again in his life. But no, he's thrown all of that in the bin to try and be Liverpool's modern day Fernando Torres. Because make no mistake about it, if things don't go well at Anfield, if the Arne Slot train falls off a cliff, then this is the sort of sneaky Torres character who would absolutely dump you for a better job at deadline day. Who's to say Isak won't leave you for Chelsea in 3 years' time? Lads, this Newcastle squad achieved something special on that Wembley turf. Every single member of that squad were given immortal legend status. Even Sean Longstaff didn't play a single minute in the match. In fact, he's got the natural ability of a cheese omelette. And with just some Mike Ashley leftovers still in the squad, he was a bit like that stubborn gravy stain that your awful ex-wife left on your couch back when she was slurping a Chinese takeaway whilst watching Up. Actually, no. Longstaff was like that toothbrush that your granny forgot to take with her the last time she stayed with you. Yeah, the bristles are now covered in the wet muesli that helps her poo. That was poor old Longstaff, and yet even he is an immortal Newcastle legend for life now. Even Miggy Almiron wasn't even in the same continent when Newcastle won the cup. In fact, he was probably asleep when the game was on, and he probably only discovered that he won a medal when he flicked through his phone in the morning with a mouthful of cornflakes in Atlanta. Even he is a Newcastle legend, so Isak, the guy who scored the winning goal in the final against Liverpool, legend status, but now that legend status is in a bin and he's a villain now. He seriously just does not care if the Geordies hate him for the rest of his career. He doesn't care. You think you're bigger than the club? Sure, yeah. Do you not think Canu thought he was bigger than Portsmouth? This was a guy who won the Champions League with Ajax as a teenager and was 1 penalty shootout away from retaining it the very next season. He was African Footballer of the Year twice, a multiple Premier League champion, an Arsenal invincible, and yet he scores the winning goal for Portsmouth to win their first ever FA Cup. And then does he start throwing his weight around and demanding to leave? No, he stayed with them even when they were broke and could only afford to pay their players in cheese sandwiches that the chairman's mum probably made. He wasn't even getting paid by Portsmouth, and yet as a legend, he stayed there until they were relegated to League One. When you score the winning goal for your club to end a trophy drought, you become a legend for life. There's no bigger proof of that than Obafemi Martin, another quality Newcastle striker from the past. But he played 6 games for Birmingham, 4 in the Premier League, didn't score a single league goal, and if he had never scored that last-minute winner against Arsenal in the League Cup final in 2011, nobody would ever remember that he was ever at Birmingham. But he did. The only thing he did in a blue shirt, and because of that tap-in laid to him on a plate, he is now probably the boyhood hero of the Bellinghams. He can walk down the street in Birmingham now, and he'll get mobbed for selfies. People will be excitedly trying to buy him some chips from Burger King. He is absolutely loved in Birmingham, and will be for the rest of his days. Even when he's a decrepit 70-year-old granddad. If you're ever feeling low, Oba, pop yourself into Birmingham for the day and you'll get a nice ego boost. Isak could have had that at Newcastle for the rest of his life, to be treated like a king in a football-mad city, but no. He's literally walked right into Michael Owen territory. Actually, this is way worse, because Owen, he never refused to train, never refused to play. And lads, you talk about Isak wanting a Liverpool move, nobody was more desperate for a transfer to Anfield than Owen. He wanted it in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, even 2009, The summer where he joined Man United instead. Honestly, at no point did he refuse to take part in the matchday squad for Newcastle. His biggest offence was telling Alan Shearer that he's only fit enough to start the game on the bench. Last game of the 08-09 season at Villa Park, where Newcastle needed a result to not get relegated. Yeah, he came on for the final 24 minutes, and he mooched around the pitch looking like a lazy penguin, sure, but he was half injured. And the Magpies went down, but he didn't refuse to make the matchday squad. That's exactly what Isak is doing. Same ground and everything, because once again, Newcastle now start the season at Villa Park. Well, this striker doesn't want to set foot anywhere near the team bus. It's a disgrace. It is pathetic behaviour. Is it worth it? Is the move to Liverpool really worth the Geordies booing you for life? Because that's what Owen got until he retired. I'm a bit confused. It's a jump from Newcastle to Liverpool. Put it this way. I remember when Luis Suarez was desperate to quit Liverpool for Arsenal. Why? That Arsenal team weren't much better at all. They didn't get Suarez and would go on to concede 6 goals in 2 different Premier League trips, including one in Wenger's 1000th match. That Arsenal squad were a disgrace. And Suarez wanted to swap Liverpool for that? I know this Liverpool team are way better than the Arsenal team ever was, but it's not a Barcelona, it's not a Real Madrid, it's not a PSG, it's still the Premier League for a slightly better team. It's just, I don't really get it. Liverpool is an amazing club, yes, but so are Newcastle. Didn't understand it when Suarez wanted to quit Liverpool for Arsenal, and I don't really understand this. To want it that much that you want to go on strike? Sorry, lads, but I think it's an absolute disgrace. Anyway, that's the video. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Is Isak gonna go? Oh, it's a joke, innit? Anyway, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, please. I'll talk to you in a while.